Hey crafty friends, welcome to my channel. Today I'm working on some thrifty flip projects and I thought I might take you along with me and do a little craft with me. So last night I was playing around with a little pocket that I got when we drove through Wendy's. I know, horrible, fast food horrible, but we were on the way to a doctor's appointment and it was early and my husband needed coffee, so the only thing I like at Wendy's is their oatmeal raisin bars. So I got one of those and they come in these little bags. And I thought, how fun would that be to save and make something out of for my journals? So last night I was playing around with one and I made a little pocket. I think it turned out so darling. I used the Biscotti Silk Couture Kit from Ooh La La Vintage Treasures to make this one. And I think it just turned out absolutely adorable. Look at that with the little tucks on the back. And it'd be perfect to bulldog clip into a journal or even to sit on your desk and tuck ephemera in while you're working on a project. You could put your little fussy cuts in there. I just made a little scrappy book out of some of the pieces from the Couture kit and some of the pages that came in Doreen's Precious Bits kit from the Crystals and Pearls Kit Club at Ooh La La Vintage Treasures. So I just put that in there for now, but I am going to be working on some other projects with this kit, so I thought it would be a really super cute thing to add in there. And inside, because there was the Wendy's, this Wendy's that you could see through, I just took one of the postcards and I put it in there so it covered up that, and it makes for a nice little pocket so you can see your pretty sticking out, and then you still have room in the bag for whatever else you want to put in. And because it's got gussets on the side, you can fit quite a bit of ephemera in there if you want to use it for that. So it also goes flat if you want to put it in the journal, so I think it has multi-uses. And I like how this one turned out, but I wanted to hear more of the crunchiness of the bag. You know how we love our glassine bags. So I thought for this one, I might try covering it in napkins for the background, so it's a little, you can still hear that flex, that crunchiness. So let's get started. I think, let me put down, rather than my ugly plastic mat, I think I'll just put down a piece of paper. However, I don't want to use that one because it is a linen paper, so I don't want to ruin it. So let's just put down a piece of cardstock for a background so I don't get glue everywhere. And I think today for this project we'll be working with the Divine Moments kit by Ooh La La Vintage Treasures. And I've got some fussy cuts over here from the kit. Look at these sweet little angels. Aren't they just precious? And some of the little tags from the kit that I had worked on before and didn't use these in the project. So I thought, what a great time to use those. And then look at how sweet. Aren't those little angel babies precious? And I thought it a good time to work on this. I want to make a prayer journal at some point, but I thought today it would be appropriate to work with this kit as we think of all of our friends in Florida who have been so affected by the hurricanes back to back. Such devastation and tragedy out there. So I put my little reminders to say prayers for them extra special. I've got my little angels on my desk, my rosary, and I thought while we're working with this kit, we can just maybe please keep those people in your prayers. So I have some pieces left over from when I was working on this kit before, so we'll kind of flip through so you can see the kit, and I will link Ooh La La Vintage Treasures Divine Moments kit in the box below. So this is one of the background pages. Isn't that beautiful? This is from the paper pack. And then look at these sweet babies. I just love them. They are so precious, so angelic, of course, since they're little angels, but look at how soft those little angel wings look, and their beautiful ruffly dresses. So precious. And then look at up here, the embellishments you can cut out and use. Look at how realistic those pearls look. Such dimension and shimmer and shine to those. I think they're beautiful. And then, of course, we all love our ruffles. So look at that one. How absolutely gorgeous is that? That would make a beautiful page in a book, wouldn't it? So that's a pretty one. And then these are all snippets of what I've been working with before. So some of the little angel babies there. So sweet. And then this is the page that I cut this out of. I thought that might make a good focal point for our pocket. And then just some other little background pages that I have snippets of. I thought you could cut out the flowers here. You could use this as a little collage piece. So I never throw my pages away. I always keep them. You can see I've torn bits and pieces out of that. Look how pretty that piece would look somewhere in a collage. All through there would be beautiful. Then we've got more of the little angels. I love those. And look at this piece. I can't remember if this is from the Divine Moments kit or not. I will have to double check, but I thought it looked well with all the pinks that we're looking at. So look at how beautiful that is. And look at how pretty the pinks work with the neutrals. I love that as well. So we'll play with those pages. And then I pulled out some of my napkins. And I don't know about you, but for a while there I went napkin crazy. I've got about 1,000,001 napkins in my stash. And then my daughter's friend who comes to her knit night at her store, she works for a company called BI International, and they are a national company that makes napkins, and their napkins are printed out of Germany. And she brought me a box. I cannot tell you how many napkins. That box must have been like this, just huge. And it was full of their sample napkins that got discontinued. So I have been having so much fun with the napkins. So I thought I pulled out some of my pink ones, and I thought we might try using those. And I went ahead and separated some of them. Where are they? And I think we'll use these. But what I found is when we put the napkin over after we peeled the other plies off, you could still see that big Wendy's head in there. Wendy's, if you could stop putting that big thing on there, we would love to use your bags. That big logo. But we'll just cover Wendy up. So what I thought we'd do is take a piece of one of the brown ones and lay that down first. And then we can lay the other napkin over it. So I thought maybe we do this on the front and this on the back. I think they work well together. And I think that's what we'll do. So let's start gluing down. And what I did with the other one, because I'm kind of a disaster at measuring and cutting, so I just put the glue on the pocket and I laid it down face down on my sheet on the other one, on my printed page, and then I just cut around it. So I think that's what we'll do on this one as well. It worked out pretty well. So we'll use our art glitter glue, and we will just glue this one up. And I'm not sure how the napkins will work, if they'll go completely flat or if they'll get crinkly, but I don't think I mind the crinkly look on this, since it'll be collaged on and it'll give it some dimension. So we'll just see. This may work and it may be a complete disaster, but you know what? You don't know until you try. So sorry, Wendy, you're getting glued all up here. won't saturate it too much because we will be putting, let's see, where do I want my glue? We will be putting 2 layers of napkin on there. I hope this works. If it doesn't, we'll be covering it up with one of the pages from the kit. But I just wanted to try and get that crunchiness. I maybe should have got my bone folder out. I think it'll be okay. Let's see. Let's see how we're looking. Well, it covered it up part of the way, but I think once we get the other layer on, it should be okay. Yes, I think that's going to work out perfectly. So let's trim this up. I don't know, when I first started the junk journaling, I was watching all the YouTubes, which I still do. I love watching everybody's videos. But so many people were using napkins to do things, master boards and different things, covering up envelopes. So I just went hog wild on the napkins. When I went back to Las Vegas to visit my kids at one point, I stopped in Marshall's and Home Goods and stocked up on the napkins because I don't really have a great place out here. I didn't think until I discovered that the BI International is out here, and in my daughter's town, which is about 20 minutes away, is their world headquarters. Out of all the places in the world, little French Lick, Indiana was their headquarters, and I believe that's because the CEO of the company was from here. So they wanted to be near family and move the headquarters here. So the other day at the pumpkin parade in French Lick, the BI International float was throwing out napkins as prizes to the people that were gathered around. I'm just going to tuck this under here because I want a little more durability there at the tuck, so we will put a little glue there. So my daughter and grandsons were over there, and they brought me back about 5 packages of napkins that they collected from being at the parade. So that was fun. So if anybody needs napkins, hit me up. I've got them. The box that Kristen brought me, they had little stickers on the back, most of them like little tiny labels for their product codes. So part of the napkin won't be too usable, but I think that's okay because we pull them apart and collage with them, and I think there's enough usable pieces that we'll have fun with them. There's a lot of autumn and fall and Christmas. If anybody's working on those projects, shoot me a message and I'll be happy to send you a little happy mail, because in about 10,000 years I don't know that I would use all of the napkins, but it's sure fun to have them, and I appreciated Kristen thinking of me so much. That was so fun. They have a retail store in French Lick too. It's called For the Home, I believe, and it's like a little mini Home Goods kind of, where they have all the pretty housewares, decorations and things, and then every kind of napkin that you can imagine. So I've gone over there and they have wonderful sales. I've gone to their sales and come home with, goodness, they have like 75% off sales. I think I got about $130 worth of things for next to nothing. So that's fun. Okay, so let's get that under the edge here so we don't get that crinkly edge. There we go. I was watching someone's YouTube video last night and they put out a reminder, and I didn't think about this, but for those of us who live in cooler climates, we better get our glue orders in before they quit shipping them for the winter. I think they mentioned Fabri-Tac. I knew that I had heard art glitter glue you couldn't get through the cold months, but I hadn't heard about the Fabri-Tac. But those are my two go-tos, so I better stock up. I'm trying to learn to use the glue gun a little bit more for larger projects. I'm just so sloppy with the glue gun, and I think probably I need a better glue gun with a more fine tip. And then I see people using glue sticks all the time too. And I was at the store the other day and I thought, okay, I'm going to try and use that because, you know, the Fabri-Tac and the art glitter glue can get pretty expensive when you're using them so much. But I just couldn't make myself do the glue stick. I don't know. Do you have good luck with the glue sticks? I saw someone with a great big giant one that looked like it might be better than like the little ones you use at school, but I don't know. There again, when I was doing the card making, I didn't have much luck with glue sticks. They seemed to dry up. One, before I could get them used, and two, they dried up and then the papers would come apart, so I quit using them. Okay, one layer down. Now let's put our second layer, and then we'll start our collaging. So far I think we're looking good. It's not crinkling up. However, I don't like that you can see that glue. I'm hoping it will dry up more clear when it dries. But like I said, we'll be collaging over it, so we can always add some lace or something to it. So I hope you all have stayed safe through this hurricane business. I just can't get over the fact that they had two back-to-back and then all the tornadoes and everything. That's so devastating. I have several of my crafty friends out that way, and my cousin lives out that way, and my childhood best friend, so I've been saying daily prayers for everybody. I was straining at the bit this morning to hear that everybody was okay, and so far so good. Just minimal wind damage. I don't ever trust what we hear on the news anymore, so it's best to go straight from the source, straight to the source, not from the source. Alrighty, let's lay this one down. I thought it a good time to stock up on a little ephemera, and I had used some of my stash, and I'm getting ready to do a journal, I believe, is going to be my next project, with my next big project, with the newly released Pink Silk Couture Kit by Ooh La La Vintage Treasures. And if you have not seen that kit, you have got to run over to Doreen's Etsy shop, which I will link in the comments, and check that kit out. It is the most stunning, gorgeous kit. I always say when she releases a new one, I think this is my favorite, and I absolutely love Divine Moments. That was one of my favorites. Pink Parfait Cafe is one of my favorites. And then she came out with the Coutures, the Biscotti, and the La Parisienne. That I said was my favorite when I was working with that one. So it's just like she outdoes herself. One kit after the next just becomes more and more gorgeous. So I am excited to do a really pretty journal with that kit. And then I'm also working with the Harvest Waltz kit, which is a fall theme kit, and I'm just got my fussy cuts done for that yesterday and my pages printed, so I will do that one first. Uh-oh, I got crinkly here. And then I will start on the pink silk atelier. So let's see if we can smooth that out a little bit, which it's not, but I don't mind that. It gives it like a little border on the top. So I think that's okay. I don't mind that at all. So let's flap this in here. And I'm kind of liking this idea because I'm hearing the crinkle, so I'm hoping it will stay that way. Okay, that's that one. Let's get our back on and then let's start to play. Let's make sure we like this though. Let's see. I mean, I think it will be okay because you're not going to see them at the same time. So I think that'll be pretty. Let's do that. And then also, I think why I chose this rose one is look at how pretty the roses will look with the roses on the kit. So I think that's going to be perfect. So do you all work with napkins much? If you do, what do you do with them? What's your favorite way to use them? I've mainly used them to cover envelopes when I repurpose envelopes, and have collaged with them on pages, on tags and things. But I love the look of them, and I love that it doesn't add much bulk to your project. Alrighty. I forgot to set my timer. I've got to get a little clock on my desk. So I'm trying to do quicker projects. I know they can get very long to watch the whole video, but I got into a video yesterday by somebody and it was a little over an hour long, and when I go to bed at night, I get my tablet out and I watch YouTube videos, which I know I should just go to bed, but I need to wind down a little bit from my day, so that's what I do. And this video was an hour long and I was so into it. I kept thinking I need to shut it off and finish it in the morning, but I didn't, and then I fell asleep with my tablet in my hand and woke up about 2 o'clock this morning and shut it all down and went back to sleep. I don't want to get too close and cut the sides of the pocket here. I was thinking all the things we throw away that could be used, and I just did a deep clean in my little craft room here. It was a disaster, and I threw so much stuff away that I had saved, pieces of Amazon packaging, and then when I first started in the junk journaling, I printed out all the kits I got on Creative Fabrica, and it's before I discovered digitals and Doreen's beautiful kits, and I had so much printed out that I was never going to use, so I ended up donating it to our local recycle shop. They have a craft section, and I thought about how much ink and paper I wasted, but hopefully somebody will have a benefit from that. Okay, so here we are. Here's our front and our back. This glue's still drying, but I think it'll be okay. I hope it will. So let's pick our focal point. I thought maybe this would be sweet, or maybe this little one. I don't know, what do we think? Maybe we do 2 of them? That might be cute. I kind of like that. That would give us a whole page. Why don't we play with that a minute? Let's see what else we've got in here. Do we want some of these pages? Let's tear a little piece of this out and see how that looks. I don't mind covering most of the napkin up because it was just to cover up the Wendy's girl. So we could certainly do some good collaging on here. Let's tear that down a little bit more. I'm kind of into the torn look lately, so I love my fussy cuts to be precise, but I don't know that I like that. It's kind of too dark. Let's take one of these lighter pieces. See how that looks. I've wanted to do a prayer journal for a while. I've been so busy making other projects, I just don't do anything for myself, so I thought I'm just going to make that a point to do this. Well, I should say soon. I was about to say this year, but I know what projects I have committed to, and if truth be told, I probably overcommitted, but that's okay. I absolutely love doing this. Let's see, let's put that about there. I found my passion with the junk journaling, and it got me to get my sewing machine out again and play with that, and I've been having so much fun. I finally got my Etsy started. I have 1 item listed so far. I've got to get busy and list some of my other things that I have stockpiled. So I will link my shop below as well. Let's see. Let's try that. And then maybe a little textiles. I pulled out some pink netting. Got this sparkle pink. That might be pretty. See if I can manage to get glitter all over everything. Where's the end? Goodness. There it is. How did I wind that up? What in the world? I don't know. There we go. Goodness. Okay, so let's do a chunk of this. See how that looks. It's probably too big of a chunk. So we can kind of ruffle that up a little bit and tuck that under here. think that will be pretty. So let's play with that. I've got some pink satin. I don't know about that one. Let's see, I've got some pink lace here too, which I believe I have buried. There we go. There's some trim, that might be pretty. Oh, I like that one. Let's cut a little snippet of that. Rough up our edges a little bit so it doesn't look freshly cut. Maybe tuck that in there. I don't know that I'm loving that next to that pink, so maybe we'll put it down this way. Oh, you know what? Maybe we'll just put it on the bottom across. Yes, I like that. So let's do that. We'll trim that up, and then maybe something neutral up there to kind of break up all of the pink. Maybe some snippet of this. This is beautiful vintage lace. I just love. Let's see what kind of a piece we might want. Run it all the way across there and then pull the tool up over. Kind of scrunch it up a little bit. Maybe we'll do that and then we can trim the edges. So let me rough that up a little bit. So is anybody working on anything fun? Are you into the holiday journals? I have not yet gotten into doing holiday ones, but I've seen some really pretty ones. I think the one I was watching last night was from Vintage Paper Girl on YouTube, and she was using a nutcracker theme, and it was really pretty. She was using a paper pack. I don't use the paper packs much. Okay, how are we going to do this? Let's start gluing these down first. And you know what? I think I want to ink as well. So let's get that out. Do a little inking. Are you an inker? Ooh, I didn't want to do that on my fabric. I like to ink. I don't like the white edges on things. I think it gives it a little vintagey feel, but I know there's people that are strongly not inkers and some that really are into it. So it's your preference. And what I love about this junk journal crafting is there is absolutely no right or wrong. It's what speaks to you, what you feel in the moment. And I love that. I've done so much crafting in my life, either sewing, which is so precise. I used to sew a lot of my clothes. And that you have to be spot on with everything. And then I did card making, which was kind of like this. You had a little more creative freedom. And I did fabric painting back in the day, in the 80s, when that was the big thing to do. I remember one Christmas I made my son and daughter matching sweatshirts, and I did a big Christmas tree print on the front, and I embellished it all, and didn't put rhinestones and things on my sons. I did on my daughters, but on my sons I just did like puffy paint, and made the little ornaments out of that. And on my daughters I did rhinestones, and then I found light sets that you could put in there, and I put a light set in each one of the sweatshirts, so when you turn the little switch on they twinkled. And they were in preschool at the time, so of course they couldn't say, "Mom, this is the stupidest idea you've ever made me wear." I thought it was darling, and their classmates thought it was fun. And up until a few years ago, I still had those little sweatshirts in my closet. But they were adorable, my little babies. Today is a very special day in our family. It's October 10th when I'm filming this, and it is my daughter's 35th birthday. So happy birthday, Princess. We love you. I can't believe she's 35 already. She was just my little princess baby a few short years ago, it seems like. And now she's all grown up with a family of her own, a business, a husband. She worked so hard. I'm so very proud of her. I have been very, very blessed with my children. Both of them have been just a joy. Never gave me a minute's problem. And my son actually will turn 34 on Saturday. They were born a year and 2 days apart. And yes, I do have 2 kids. I talk about my daughter a lot. She's on social media with her business and things, but my son, he and his family are very private, so we don't discuss them on social media much. But I will say that yes, I do have 2 children, and he is a joy as well. So I am very, very blessed. Okay, let's put that one down, and I think we're just going to do that kind of messy and rumply. For a while there, we were putting the grandbabies and everything all on Facebook, and I am a proud grandma. But when the world got so crazy, and all the hackings and the creepiness started, we decided to limit that. So I have a few of my close friends that will trade pictures of our grandchildren with privately, but I love seeing all the baby pictures on social media, and it's a family preference. It's what you're comfortable with, and I have to respect my children's wishes. So occasionally you'll see the 2 that live here near us. My daughter will post something. She never uses their real names. She uses their little pet names. But you can't be too careful anymore. I saw a very frightening video about how people, now with this AI business, they take images of people's children off of Facebook, and they do the AI thing, and they steal identities, and they create like the enhanced images of when they be older. Like they'll take babies' pictures, and babies, you know, I mean toddlers and things, and they will enhance them to where they're like in their teens and older, and I just think that's so scary. If people would use their genius for something wonderful to help our world, that would be so much better than some of the things we experience with all this craziness. I think we're going to rumple that up and let that hang off a bit. On the outside side, let's see what we want what to do with the inside side. We might trim that up a little bit, but let's live with that for a moment. Should have got my spatula out. This is what I look like after all my projects. I am such a messy crafter. Look at this, I even have stuff stuck to my glue bottle. I think I want to use my other glue for that. I switcheroo around a lot with my glue. I like the Beacon 3-in-1 the most. That's my favorite glue, but they were all out of it anywhere near me, and I needed some stat because I was almost out and I was working on a project. So I drove the 40 miles to the Ace Hardware, which is in a town not far from us. And inside the Ace Hardware, they have a, oh, you know what? Dumb. I wanted to ink that. They have a Ben Franklin inside the Ace Hardware, and I get a lot of fabric there and thread, and it's about 20 miles closer than the nearest Joann's, so I duck in there quite often to get little supplies. So they don't carry the Beacon 3-in-1, but they have Fabri-Tac, they have tacky glue, they have what's the other fabric glue that comes in the tannish bottle? I can't remember. Fabric Fusion, which I don't care for much. So I don't know if there's a glue secret, because I see a lot of people using some of these other glues and they have much success to it. So I don't know. Can you do glue wrong? I don't know. Am I doing it wrong? I don't know. Okay, let's do that there. And before we do that, do we want to put a little snippet of something down there? Let's see. Maybe since we have that color going on, we'll use a piece of this. I love, love, love this. Look at how pretty. Oh, I love it. I am so obsessed with vintage right now. Let's see. I think we'll cut a little piece like that. And then maybe tuck it up. Let's see. See if I can follow the design here. And maybe do like that. I like that, and then maybe we need something over here, don't we? But I already glued that down, so maybe, what do we want? What do we want? Let's put a little something right here. Need a little something, something right there. Let's see. I don't like how straight that is. Oh, you know what? How about some eyelash yarn? Maybe in the neutral. I've got some that has a little pink in it. I don't like that, but I do maybe wind a little something up this way. Let's cut a little snippet and play. Maybe kind of wind that around so it doesn't look so straight across with this lace. I could go for that. Let's try that. So I think we will glue this girl down and see how we look. I think we're about ready to do a little something on the back, and then we'll call it a day. Let's do that right there. And then this right here. Oh, I got a big old bubble on my Fabri-Tac. Me and the bubble. So many of you have mentioned, you know, do this and do that, and it'll eliminate the bubble. I filled my jar before or my bottle before I started, so we'd be fresh and ready, and it's still bubbling up. So I don't know. I don't get that problem with the Beacon 3-in-1, and they're the same company, probably very much the same glue, I would imagine. Let's do that. And we'll just kind of wind this around a little bit and stick our eyelash trim on there. Boy, the trucks are running today out front. But I'm grateful for a quiet dog today. He is laying here next to me, being a good boy. They were working on something across the street yesterday, and by the end of the day, I was as nuts as he was with his barking. Oh my goodness, he did not stop all day long. Bark, 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 bark. He is my protector. I mentioned before he's a Pyrenees, Great Pyrenees, which are guard dogs. And since we don't have livestock, I am his project. He keeps me safe from the mailman and the delivery people and the neighbors. The neighbors next to us have a little dog that keeps getting loose, and that darn dog, it keeps coming in our yard, and he just about comes unglued. Do we want that up there? That might be a little too much. What do we want up there? Maybe a little piece of, oh, you know what? I wonder if that would work. Tear that. I don't know about that. That might be too flimsy to put over that lace. But I like the idea of it. Kind of ties the front and the back together. You know what we could do? Here's a little scrap paper. If we put it on there, glue it to a piece of paper. Where there's a will, there's a way, right? Let's do that, and let's tear these edges. Ooh, I'm sticking to the napkin with my sticky glue fingers. I'll just make like a little paper medallion to put up there. Get a little more glue in the spots that didn't get glued down. There and there. And let's ink that. I wonder how we're doing on time. Try to wrap it up here shortly. Okay, let's see. It's busy, isn't it? Maybe let's take this down a little bit. I do love using the different mediums in the projects. You know what? I don't know how I'm feeling about that. I liked the bow idea better. Do I have, let's see if I have something in my little stash over here. Oh, what about a little flower or something? Let's see. That's a little too bright. I've got these little, ooh, they're sticking to my paper. These were on a sticker sheet. Oh, you know what? I think that might be the ticket. Let's sprinkle a couple of those. Maybe like that, and then maybe put one there. Is that too much? I like how it gives it a little bit of sparkle. I was going to add some sparkle chain to it, but I think we'll do that. Yep, let's do that. I love the pretty cup chain when we do little snippets and embellish that. Okay, guys, let's see how we're looking after this. That one and that one. See, this is where the hot glue would be helpful, I think. Mush those down a little bit. And then let's trim off some of this side. Maybe a little more so it's not poking out so much. So there's our front. I love it. It's super cute. So inside here, I think what we'll do is take a little small one of these ephemera pieces and poke that in there for a pocket. You know what? I think we're just going to cut one of these pieces. And how long do we want it? Is that going to be big enough? Tag fit in there by the time we glue it. Let's go a little more that way. There, and then we'll do about like that. Probably should have got my cutter out rather than eyeball it. But that's okay. Okay, so now, let's see if you can see that Wendy's in there. I want to cover that up. So we're just going to put that down in there. I think that's wide enough. And then this one, I'm thinking we might leave relatively plain on the back. That way, if it's clipped into my journal, it won't be too bulky, or I could glue it down. So I think I'm going to leave the back unembellished until I figure out how I'm going to use it. And I can always add some goodies to it later. I might just glue it down to a page and have that be the focal point. So there we have it. We've got our little pocket inside. We've got our prettiness here. I love the little angels. We've got it plain on the back. That way, if we want to just glue it flat to the page, we can do that. Clean up the mess here, and then we'll tuck some ephemera down in there. And there again, I'll kind of wait to embellish that until I decide how we're using it. And then all these little extra pieces, those are in the pocket there, if you can see that. And then these extra ones we'll just tuck down inside the bag. And I will be ready for when I start my journal. I'll have some little ephemera pieces at the ready, some already made. And there we are. So we've repurposed the Wendy's bags. Got two styles here. That one, the plain on the back with the napkin. And I love that you can still hear some of the crinkle when you use that one. This one, not so much, but it's more sturdy. So it's a preference, whichever floats your boat, I suppose. So there we have it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I will link all the kits below: Biscotti Silk Couture, Divine Moments, Doreen's Ooh La La Vintage Treasures Etsy, and all of the Facebook group where we all gather and have fun in there. Be sure and join that if you haven't. And I will also link all of the Ooh La La Vintage Treasures designers. There is such a talented team that Doreen has created, and you've got to go follow all of the designers on the team if you haven't already. They just come up with the most beautiful projects. So I appreciate you watching. I hope you leave me a like and a comment, and if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and the bell to be notified of future videos. I'm inching up a little bit to 1,000. Again, once I hit 1,000, we'll do another giveaway. And I just hope everybody stays safe. Prayers for all of you in Florida and South Carolina and North Carolina and Georgia and all of the places that have been affected by the hurricanes. Stay safe. Be blessed, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video, guys. Bye, y'all.